Hi everyone. This session we are going to talk about the Terraform. So on the basic skill set would be required for the Terraform, and also why we want to use the Terraform, and we are going to cover the Terraform Associate Certificate. So what are the prerequisites would require to do the Terraform Associate exam? Okay. So okay, let's talk about the Terraform briefly. So Terraform is a tool for building and changing and versioning the infrastructure safely and effectively. So Terraform can manage so multiple resources, and even we can go with the modules as well. And Terraform will support multiple cloud providers. Why we want to go with Terraform means, so Terraform it will support multiple cloud providers. Multiple means the only tool Terraform is an open source tool. The only tool it will support for Google Cloud and Azure and AWS, and there are a few of them. There are different cloud providers it's going to provide. We'll talk about exactly what are the cloud providers Terraform is going to support. Okay, even AWS have the cloud formation is available. That is also infrastructure IOC tool. Even when you go to the um, Azure having the uh, they will use the PowerShell, and at the same time they will use the blueprint for the Azure. When you go to the Google Cloud Deployment Manager is infrastructure as a code. There is one tool available, but when you use fill in the Terraform, obviously that is going to we are going to build the services. We can go with any cloud, even if we want to build the same time with multiple cloud providers using the same code. Okay, but the syntax would be the different, but obviously the bottom line Terraform it can support multiple cloud providers. Okay, let's go to the little bit talk about so if you want to prepare the Terraform exam preparation associate exam, there are see basic what are the prerequisites would be required for the Terraform associate exam. So basic terminal skills should be required. So what is meant by provider, on what is the version? The Terraform version would be required for the 0.12 and higher. We have a latest 0.14 available. So if you want to go for the Terraform associate exam, at least you should try with the Terraform 0.12 and a higher version. Okay, so preparation of the exam, if you come down the scroll down, so it's a multiple choice question. So we can go with online or you can go with test center as well, but the duration would be 1 hour. The price would be $70, 70.50 USD dollars. Okay, the validity would be the expiration is 2 years. Okay, let me come back to the exam objectives. What are the objectives which you're going to cover as part of the exam? Okay, we need to know what is the we need to understand what is the IAC code. IAC means infrastructure as a code. So explain with the IAC and decide an understanding of the Terraform versus other IOCs. Other IOCs means so Terraform is one infrastructure code. The other IOC is cloud formation. There are few, but just need to understand why we want to go with the Terraform and explain the state files and understand the Terraform basics. And there are a couple of things available. We need to know Terraform plugins and multiple providers. And if you scroll down Terraform CLI and uh, and Terraform workflow, basically what is there's a couple of things who is available as part of the exam objective. Terraform modules, what is the difference between the Terraform and Terraform resources, and what is the workflow, Terraform workflow, what is the write a code, plan and create. There are few there. If you can implement to maintain the state file. So what is mean by authentication method? From authentication method means when local machine to any cloud provider. So how we are going to Terraform is going to communicate. So with Terraform installed in local laptop, how the communication is going to happen between a local tab to AWS account or Google account or Azure account. That we want to cover as part of this one. We should know what is the Terraform refresh state files, and there are few. If you scroll down a little bit, total there is 9 objectives which is available as part of the exam. We are going to cover one after one, and also we're going to talk about little more about the depth, and we're going to we'll go into little bit depth on the so Terraform as well. It's not about this. This session is not about completely for exam. At the same time, it will be useful for your working skills, working area as well. Okay. So if you better to know, if you go with little bit depth, then you can easily uh, pass your exam as well, the associate exam. Okay, so let's this is the one. Okay, let's go ahead and talk the so providers. So Terraform has a different providers we discussed. Okay, these are we are in the, you can see the, we are in the https registry terraform.io site. Okay, when you go to the Terraform you can see browse providers. If you browse the providers, so we can see here there are a lot of providers available. There are, it's not like they have around 30, 40, maybe 60. It's a lot. It's not about 60. There is a few of them is available. If you look at the main one which are going to consider in the AWS and Azure and Google Cloud and Kubernetes and Oracle, uh, OCI and Alibaba Cloud. If you scroll down, there are a few active. There are a few. There is a lot of it is going to provide, but mainly thing which we are going to look on the AWS. This session we are going to talk about AWS, but later session definitely we are going to Mm, we are going to the other session we are going to build the services using both providers. Are it possible to go with the three providers? I'm going to cover with AWS and Azure and Google Cloud at the same time. The same code which are trying to build the three providers at the same time. But I will cover it next session. Okay, this session we are going to talk about little depth on the AWS, then how we need to use. Okay, now let's click on the AWS. When you click on the, I'm using AWS product. Why? Because I'm comfortable with AWS at the moment. But later session we'll talk about other providers. Okay. If I scroll down a little bit below, you can see this is the AWS provider. So how we need to start the AWS provider? Okay. Okay. If you look at when you go to the AWS account, let's say for example, I'm in the AWS account. Okay. If you go here, these are all called AWS services. Okay, these all services we are not going to build anything manually. We are going to try to make a automation by using a Terraform tool. So how we are going to manage? So each service have individual code which is defined by HashiCorp. By using the code resource and resource block name, we are going to call. Let's go ahead and see the what is exactly each resource, how the code is going to pick and build the services. Okay, let's go back to the. So now we are in the AWS provider. So if you come down the left hand side, we can see all the services which is available. These all are called services. So the each and let's say for backup and batch, budget and cloud, Athena, auto scaling plan. These are all called resources. These all are called Amazon resources. Okay. So each resource have the individual code which is developed by HashiCorp. Okay. If you come down a little bit, you can see. So this is the one. This is the provider. Okay, so when we build the code, so we have to mention the provider name AWS, then only Terraform will recognize this. We are not, we are going to, Terraform will recognize this code is going to be, Terraform will easily recognize we are going to build a service on the top of the AWS. If we specify with the Azure RS or Google Cloud, so Terraform will recognize. So we are going with Google Cloud. So based on the provider, so Terraform is going to uh, download the required plugins to build the services. Okay. So, okay, this is the provider. This is the region. This is the version. Version is come up with Terraform. Whenever the Amazon is going to release the latest features into the Amazon cloud, so those services Terraform has to build the code. When they build the code, each time they come up with a new provider, they are going to add the new features into the they're going to add the new features into the Terraform code. When they build the new features, they come up with the versioning such a way. Uh, they come up with every time they come up with the new versioning. Okay. So region. So Terraform should know. So which region you are building the services. So without knowing the region, so won't. Terraform should know where we want to build the services. Okay, that's why we are specifying for the region. Okay, if we come down a little bit, so they have multiple regions available. So we want to know where would like to go and build the services. So based on the region, so Terraform will go and build the services. We'll talk about little depth and practical way next few minutes. We'll okay. So this is the resource. So this would be the standard code. We can't change this one. This come up with the Terraform have a standard code which is available. This is the logical name. So we can keep it whatever we want. It doesn't matter. You can keep it example. You can keep it your name as well. Doesn't matter. So this is the little bit brief about the Terraform. So how we need to use the Terraform, how we need to start that one. Okay, let's go ahead and do. Okay, I would like to prefer to go with at the moment for the EC2 one. Obviously, Linux servers, everybody knows. If I go with EC2 server, you can see here left hand side there is a lot ECR, there is ECS, EFS, and EKS. I'll go with the EC2 at the moment. This would be the sufficient. Okay, if I scroll down below, there are a few available. So I would like to go with to create the server. So if I come down, okay, AWS instance. If I come down, you can see the provider is to instance resources. This allow to instance to be created, updated, and deleted. Instance also support based on the provisioning. Okay, example. So if you come down here, you can see the provider which are using for the region. So version is not a mandatory command. Version is not a mandatory argument. If you want, we can keep it. If you don't keep it, always go with the latest version. Okay. So these are the provider which are in AWS and region. And if you look at here, this is the where we want to build the services. Okay, that's how. So if you come down, so leave about this one, we'll talk about later what is meant by data source and all the stuff. This is the syntax, this is the code to build the Terraform services. This is the basic syntax. If you want to pass the argument, there is a lot of arguments which is available. We can pick up later, but this would be the basic one. Okay. To get this would be the standard code. We are not going to change that code. The logical name would be the your customized one. If you want, you can customize it. It's going to work. But if you change this one, it won't work. Okay. This is the argument which you need to pass AMI and instance type. Instance type would be the we can go to there are a lot of instance type available. So if you want to go with the bigger one, you can go. It's depend upon how instance type is a collection of resources, resource and CPUs and other network stuff. The altogether is called a instance type. Okay. If you go with a little bit bigger one, T3 large, we'll get a more CPUs and more memory. Okay. And the name would be the tags would be the to identify purpose. We'll talk about little later. Okay. Before going to this one, let's go ahead and download the Terraform. How we are going to download the Terraform? So if you enter the Terraform, go to the Archik website. So you can see download here. Let's download here. So if you come down here, you can see download the older version of Terraform. Even if you go with the latest one, but I'll prefer to go with the little bit older one, the previous one, which I'm talking about. If you look at here, they have a lot of versions available. So Terraform 14 and Terraform 13 also available, but I'll go with the exam preparation and would be required Terraform 12. I'll go with the Terraform 12.29. Even if you go on, if you want to go with little older one also, we can go, but we may lose couple of features which the Amazon recently released. That's why I'm going with the Terraform 12.29. Okay. So in that case, so what I will do, what I will do, I'm going to install the Terraform both Linux and Windows environment. First, I will go with Linux one, then I will go with Windows version, Windows environment. So if you pick this one, we have features available. If I'm going to take this one, Linux one. Let me copy link address. Even if you want, you can download here. Click on this URL. It's going to download locally. Or if you want, you can copy this one. Go to the server. Now I'm in the folder called so demo demo is already available. Now I'm going to create a new folder called demo new. Okay. Now I'm in the demo. Sorry. Now I'm in the demo class. Leave about the old one. Now I'm in the demo class. So what I will do, so let me download the Terraform file. How we are going to wget? If you enter wget, it's going to download the Terraform file, the zip file locally. So now we have a zip file available. Now if I want to do, how we are going to unzip this file? Okay, unzip. If you enter this one, it's going to unzip the okay file. You can see here when you say enter, it's unzipped in flatting. So now we have a one file available. This just a file is not a directory. Okay, what I will do. So when you say here from, so there's a command. There's already when you say hit the enter, there's a lot of commands available. But I already installed earlier this Terraform version. So if you want to set the environment, how we are going to set the environment? So we already set the environment. If I let me take it over the, let me show you something. If you go which Terraform, so this is the location basically environment is going to set. So what I will do, I'm going to this location. So this one previously which I installed. Let me take it out this one. I don't want this one. Okay, we have already Terraform installed, which is available locally. Now if I enter this one, you can say, so bash user local has been no such files or directory. What will happen when I enter this one? This is going to set the environment. It's going to pick up the environment variable. So we need to copy that one to run the Terraform any folder. It doesn't matter if you want to run the specific path. You have to always go with the dot slash. Then only Terraform it will work. Otherwise, we we have to copy the we have to set the environment. So how we are going to set the environment? What we'll do? We have to copy this one. Copy this one. Uh, When you say hit copy CP, okay. Now I copy to the again user local has been. Now if I say Terraform, so it will work. Even I don't want to bother about them. Take it out this Terraform file, and the software wouldn't be required anymore here. So now again, if you run the Terraform, it's going to work. Okay. If you can see now, you can see there is a few commands available Terraform. So Terraform apply, Terraform console, Terraform destroy, environment and format, and get graph import, init login. There are few of the we'll talk about little bit little depth little bit later. So we'll concentrate on so we have installed successfully in the Linux environment. Now we'll go ahead and install the uh, in Windows environment now. Okay, this is the way we have to install the Linux environment. Okay, let me go ahead and build the services we already installed here. So we don't to go with, let's give it a try. Let me take it out these services. Later we'll talk about, we don't want old files. Okay, now we have a fee file available. Now we have a, so you can see here provider available, and we have a resource available where based on the resource we are going to create the EC2 instance. Okay, so now I'm creating the services region US2. Now we need to make the access key and secret key. This is my local machine. Now I would like to communicate a bit from here to AWS account. Now we are going to make authentication, that is called IAM management. Now what we'll do, we are going to create a new we'll go ahead and create a new user in AWS account, that in the IAM management, IAM identity and access management. We are going to provide the Terraform, the particular user with admin access. So let me go ahead and create. Now what I'm going to keep, I'm keeping as a demo Terraform. Okay, you can keep it anything. Now I'm going to keeping as a programmatic access, nothing but to enable the access ID and secret key ID is like a SDK. So to make a communication between your local machine to uh, AWS environment, we should be required for the access key and secret key. That's why we are going with programmatic access. If you go with the AWS management console access, so we'll get the URL. By using URL, we are going to pass the username and password. So I don't want to go with programmatic console access. I want to go, sorry, I don't want to go with the AWS management console access. I would like to go with programmatic access. Let me go ahead and do next. So here there is a few options available, and leave about these two. So we want to go with attach existing policies. I have a existing policy which is already available in Amazon. So that the default policy name, which is administrator access. What does mean by administrator access? The administrator can do everything. So that is a policy which I'm going to assign to the specific Terraform user. So let me select this one. I selected this one. Let me go to the tags, leave about all the stuff now. So let's create the user. Now we have created the user successfully. This user have authentication access. Sorry, this user have a administrator access. So let me go ahead and this is the username and access key. Let me take the quick access key and let me keep it here as well. Mm, on the same time, this would be the secret key we are going to lose. If we lose this one, it'll only visible only once. Let me keep it this secret key as well. Okay, so let me go to the my OS server. So EC2, I'm going to keep it to my secret key here. Let me let then get the access key. Okay, let me save now. So we have created the user successfully. The user having the we have created the user we have created the user successfully. The user having the full access. So admin access. The user can do anything. Okay. So let me close this one. Okay. Let me go back to my EC2 console. So we have done the authentication. This is the way we have to create the authentication. Authentication means so we want to make a communication between the local machine to where we install the Terraform from AWS console. To make a communication, we have created the IAM user. The IAM user, we assigned the policy called administrator access. So when you create the user, it will get it was generated for the access key and secret key. By using the access key and secret key, we are able to communicate using Terraform to AWS console. Okay. So now we have a one server running at the moment. Okay. Now what I will do, let me go ahead and okay. I already discussed it previously. Okay, let me go back to my notepad document. So this we covered this provider. What is mean by providers? Terraform support multiple providers. We already covered. Then how to install the Terraform Windows server and Linux. I already covered the Linux server or Windows servers. I'm going to cover. I'll cover after this. Okay. So if I scroll down, when you say Terraform, the first thing which you need to install the Terraform init. What is mean by Terraform init? When you do the Terraform init, we'll download the plugins associated with the provider. So when you say AWS, it's going to download the AWS plugins. When you say Azure, it's going to uh, download the Azure plugins. When you say Google, it's going to download the required plugins. I will talk about. I'll show you how it is going. Then you can, when you see the Terraform in it, you can understand how it is going to work. Then we'll talk about resources. So before resources, let me go ahead and run the Terraform in it. Okay. Now we can see LSF and LTRA. If let me take it to the old one. This is the old file which is not required anymore. Now if we can see here, now if you can see LSF and LTR, there is no file available, even a hidden file also not available. So we have only one file available, that is having the provider is AWS. Yeah. I want to create the services within the region US2, that is the London region is available. So that's why I went to the London region. How we want to see London region? If we go to the issue dashboard, so if we scroll down a little bit, okay, the US2, 2A and 2B, 2C is the zones. The region name would be the US2A. Okay, that's why we want to pick the region name. If we come down here, then the access key and secret key, then leave about this one later. We'll consider first this one. Okay, now I'm going to run the Terraform init. Let's see what is going to happen. You can see when you enter Terraform init, so you can see check in the availability provider plugins and download the plugins provider for AWS from Harshika of AWS. This is the version. It's almost it'll automatically pick up the latest version based on the provider. Okay. If you specify the version, it will go with the declared version. If you don't specify, it will go with the default one. That's the latest one which is available. The following providers. Okay. So these are the provider which taking the version. So you can see here clearly showing download the plugins for the provider AWS. Why? Because we are using AWS provider. Okay. Now when I say you can see Terraform has been initiated successfully. Now saying you may now begin to work with the Terraform. Try to running with the Terraform plan to see any changes that is required for your infrastructure. All the Terraform command should now work. So what does mean? Without run the Terraform init, you can't proceed with further commands. When you run the Terraform init, then only we can start building the services. If you add one service, you have to run the Terraform init. Okay, when you run the Terraform init based on the provider, it's going to download the plugins from Archie site, keep into locally. So what does mean by locally? If I say LSF and LTRA, you can see there's a file called .terraform file. If you go inside, you can see there is a call plugins. If you go inside, so what is going, this is the Linux version is going to download for the Linux one. If you can see, these are all the plugins is going to download the Terraform. These called plugins. Okay, these you can see here AWS and other stuff. Okay, these called plugins. So we need to make sure we need to run the Terraform in it before going to build the services. Okay, Now let's talk about the resource. This is called provider and authentication and Terraform init. Now we'll talk about the next one, Terraform init complete. Now we are going to talk about resources. So I already discussed it. Each service having the own individual resource code which is available. So if you go and see, I already show you. Let me show again. So you can see this, if you want to create the EC2 instance, this is the resource, and the resource, this would be the standard one. This would be the customized one. If you want, you can change it one. If you go with the AWS key for this is one of the resource for Amazon. If you come down, this code would be the different one. Resource AWS key fire. This is the logical name. You can keep it anything. So each resource having the own individual code available. Okay. This, we don't want to bother about writing a code. The code is already available. Everything available based on the provider checkup site. We need to pick up, but we need to make sure how we need to use the based on the arguments. And there is a different data types available, so that we need to learn. So how, what is meant by array, and what is meant by string, and what is meant by list, what is meant lookup tool, what is meant by element. There is Terraform functions available. You need to make sure you should know. So how we, let's say for instance, we can build one service directly. If we want to build the multiple services, so how we want to use, we just need to understand. But we'll cover about the other session. This cover is completely talk about. So we'll start with this session. We're going to talk about uh, these other things. Okay. So let's go ahead, and I have already code available, that is a resource and resource name, and resource name would be the different. You can keep anything, doesn't matter. But how we are going to take the AMI? The AMI we are going to take from, go to the console, AWS console. So let's say for instance, I'm creating the server now. If we create the server, okay, if we come down, I'm selecting Red Hat Linux one. You can see I'm selecting this instance one. And I say sorry, I I crossed out that one. So this is the AMI, sorry. So these are the AMIs we have. Multiple AMIs available. Amazon Linux, Red Hat Linux, so and SUSE Linux available. Ubuntu. These are AMI. Amazon is, AMI is nothing but a, so an OS and hardware is called AMI. So if you want to pick up anything, would, even you can build a customized AMIs as well. Doesn't matter. Okay, so there is a AMI. Let me go ahead, and this is the AMI and instance class. You can pick up anything, so it doesn't matter. I'll go with free tier one. Okay, now what I'm going to do? Now I'm going to run the Terraform apply. Before going to apply, I'm going to run the Terraform plan. Let's see what is going to happen. So Terraform is completed. I will talk about resources. Now we have a Terraform plan. Now I'm doing Terraform plan. So what is mean by Terraform plan? Before going to run the Terraform, what is mean Terraform? So Terraform plan is a command. It will read the Terraform file, and it will show the list of things based on from the particular Terraform file. Okay. So and also Terraform plan command is used to create and execute the plan for resources. It is, it's just like a blueprint of the, so a blueprint of the resources. What does mean blueprint? So before going to build the services, it will show the exactly what is going to happen, what is going to build. Okay. So if you go a little bit up, okay, when you, if you go up, this is the command. When you run the Terraform init, okay, what will happen? The resource action needed is following symbols. If you can see what does mean based on the symbols, Terraform, if it is showing create, it's going to create. Okay. So if you say Terraform will perform the following actions, when you say the resource and resource name, this will be the standard one. This is the logical. If you want, you can keep it also. Okay. This is the AMI which I passed the argument, and couple of arguments you can see known after apply. If you don't specify the arguments, it will go with the default one. Based on the default, it's going to pick up. If you specify, if you specify the argument, it will clearly say such way. AMI would be really required. AMI standard one. We can't take it out this one without no without passing the AMI. The server won't create. But if you look at the instance type, also mandatory argument, which should be required. How do you know mandatory or when you go to the Terraform document, if you go here, so you can see AMI the required one and availability is an optional one. If you come down, this is optional is not a mandatory. So if you want, you can pass the argument. If it is a mandatory, we have to pass that one. Okay. If you go come down, if you go come down, let me take this one mandatory, and you can search, then you can easily understand. If you go up, if you take the required one, do control F. So instance type is the required. That's why we have to pass. If we, okay, if device name is a, if you want we can keep it, otherwise it will pick up device name. Basically if you want to go with extra volume, so we have to go with device name. I don't want to go with extra, I want to go for with default one. So we have to specify all the required fields. Okay, so by default AMI having the root volume, that is sufficient. So if you want extra volume, such cases we have to pass that one. We'll talk about little later. Okay, that's why we have done the Terraform plan. It will show the clearly showing 1 to add, 0 to change, and 0 to destroy. So now we have done the Terraform plan. That's a Terraform is a blueprint of the resources. So what is going to exactly do, it will show before going to execute. Okay, so now I would like to go to Terraform apply. So let me go ahead and run the Terraform apply, then we'll talk about what is Terraform apply. Now if I run the Terraform apply, if you scroll up a little bit, so you can see the resource action is indicated with the following symbols. What is the symbol is saying is a create. So it's going to create the resources. Now if we come down, you can see here 1 to add and 0 to change and 0 to destroy. Why? Because we are calling only one resource, that is called EC2 instance. That's why it's showing 1 to add. If you specify one more resource, you can see 2 here. Now I would like to go with one. We'll talk about 2 resources little after this. Okay, let's say yes. Terraform will perform the action desired above. Only yes, it will be accepted to approve. Okay, if I say yes, if we go back and go to the console, you can see here, you can see there's a one server which is coming up, hello world. Okay, now we can see apply got completed and resource 1 to add and 0 to change and 0 to destroy. If you go, you can see here we have successfully created the server. Now what I will do, I don't like this name, I would like to go with a different name. What I will do, okay, if I change for example manually here, I will keep it as a EC2. Let's see what is going to happen. Okay, I will keep it as EC2 here. So we have successfully created the server first. So what is up Terraform apply? So actually it will go ahead and create the necessary resources which we have defined in the Terraform plane. What is the Terraform plane? Terraform file ec2.tf. So based on the definition, it's go ahead and create the resources. So okay, that it's go ahead and create the resources based on the Terraform we have, which we defined from the Terraform file. Now what will happen is, now okay, Terraform. Okay, now if I run the Terraform plan now, let's see what is going to see. So now if I run the Terraform plan, we changed something manually. So we changed something manually. So let's see what is going to show. Terraform will show. It's saying Terraform 1 to change, 0 to add, and 1 to change and 0 to destroy. If you go a little bit up, if you go, it's saying clearly the name is going to change from EC to hello world. Why? Because we have not implemented through Terraform. So we have done the changes manually. So when you run the Terraform plan, Terraform easily identify defect. What are the manual changes which you performed? It will take it back to the previous state. So now if I run the Terraform apply, so Terraform will take it out and keep it the previous state. So let's see. Now what will happen is it's going to take it out how it is earlier. It's going to keep it back. If I say yes, you can see 1 to change. So now you can see 0 to added, 1 to change and 0 to destroy. If you go back to here, you can see now this is changing back to the previous state. You can understand, right? So that's why if you perform any manual changes, Terraform easily defect and revert back the changes to previous state. Okay. Now so we have done the Terraform apply. So and we have done the how into changes there. So now what I will do now, I'm going to run the so Terraform destroy and Terraform destroy with the secrets. What I will do now, so what I'll go ahead and do destroy. If you want to know commands, if you run the Terraform, you can see all the commands. So you can play all together, but we'll go with little few commands now. The next session we'll go and talk about all the commands. Now if you run the Terraform destroy, sorry. the command, you can take it here if you want. Now if you run the Terraform destroy, you can see 0 to add and 0 to change and 1 to destroy. If we scroll up little bit, you can see the resource action is indicated, that is the with the following symbols. What does it mean? It's saying red color minus symbol is destroy. What does it mean? It's going to destroy the resource. Terraform will perform the following action, will be destroyed for the particular resources. Okay, if I scroll down a little bit below, you can see 0 to add and 0 to change and 1 to change. Okay, so if I say yes, if you go back and see the console level, it will shut down the server. So you can see now destroy completed and one resource is destroyed. Okay, there's a Terraform destroy will do. Now what I will do, we have created a one resource. Now what I will do, let me take it out. Okay, now I'm going to add one more resource into the issue.tf. So what I will do, we have one resource already available. Now what I will do, I'm going to add one more resource into here. This time I'm going to change my name. What I will keep it as a EC2 2, and I'm going to keep it as a I'll keep it EC2 1. So what I EC2 hyphen 1, I'll keep it here EC2. Okay, so what I will do, I'm going to do one more thing here. Okay, let me add say one syntax. I'm going to keep it as a wrong. Let's see what is going to happen. This we already discussed. This syntax we should not change. Resource and resource name is a standard code which is provided by the Archicop. We cannot change that one. This one is the man. This one is we can keep anything. And again, we should not keep it as a both resource name should be same. If we keep it as a okay, let me keep it and we'll run that. See, let's see. Then you can understand. Now what I will do now, if I run the Terraform plan, let's see what will going to happen. You can see here the error is indicating. So on resource to 16 and resource, if we say vim, so EC2 saying particular 16 and saying the vim is not available, sorry. So if we say the particular line 16, the particular resource is saying is having the, you can see the resource and name is showing wrong. If you go back and if you go and change here, change it here to say, if you say Terraform. Now if you say Terraform plan now again, it's saying so AWS instance resource name EC2 demo was already declared and so on so on. Name must be unique as per the type each module. Now if I go and go to the issue.tf, so we should not keep the same logical name within the same file. Okay, so always what we'll do, we'll go ahead and change the name now. Why? Because we are calling the two resources, but two resource logical name would be always different. Okay, so we'll go ahead and keep this one. Now, if I run the Terraform plan, what will happen? Let's see. Now we can see it's passing. So we can see now two resources adding and 0 to change and 0 to destroy. If we go up little bit, if we go up, you can see here one resource is creating EC2 demo. The other resource, if you go up, we can see this is the logical name EC2. So now both resources creating. Okay, now if I run the Terraform apply, if we run the Terraform apply, so you can see now both servers is creating. One is EC2, other one EC2-1. Let's go back to here. It will take few minutes. So you can see now apply completed, two resource added and zero to change and destroy. Now what happen is, now I have created the two resource successfully. I don't want to run two resources. I would like to go one resource to destroy. So how we are going to run the, now we run the Terraform apply. So it's going to read the .tf file which is available locally. So it's going to run the based on the syntax which is provided inside .tf file is going to run the Terraform apply. So what we'll do now, I would like to call one resource rather than Terraform full apply. So if you want to change the one resource, how we are going to do? Now if I run, let's say for example, now I've created the two servers and I would like to delete one, one resource, one server, how we are going to do it. Let's say for example, Terraform destroy, hyphen target. We need to target that one which we want to remove. This is the target, and what is which resource we are going to call, which resource we are going to call, and we target to the particular resource aws in underscore instant, and the would be the ec2. Okay, so we have to target the particular resource. Otherwise if we don't specify the target, so it's going to take the everything available inside the .tf file from local. Okay, so the particular resource we are calling, we have to target that one. When you say yes, Terraform destroy, I'm going to call only one resource. I don't want to destroy two resources. If you can see, 0 to add and 0 to change, 1 to destroy. If you scroll up a little bit, you can see this particular is going to destroy. When you say yes, go to the console, you can see one service is going to terminate. If you can see, the particular EC2 server is going to shut it down. So it's going to delete the server. This will take a few minutes. You can see now the service terminated. If you can see, destroy completed and one resource added, one resource. Now if I want to call particular resource, how we are going to call? You can see rather than destroy, you just need to say apply, or you can say plan. Plan is a blueprint for the particular resources. So if you say plan, what is going to see? It will say clearly 1 to add and 0 to change. You can see everything is green, so it's going to create. You can see here. So we're calling as one resource. One resource we can destroy, we can modify, we can do anything, we can do one resource also. Okay, if you want to just need to target that one. If you say apply the particular resource, if you say Terraform apply hyphen target aws underscore instance dot ec2, so it's going to create the service again. If you say yes, now you can see here it's going to create again. It's saying pending. Now the is few minutes it's going to launch the server. This is called Terraform destroy and Terraform destroy with specific resource. Now if we come down, if we say Terraform destroy, it will going to destroy the both services. Okay, that we already discussed. Now we'll talk about the what is meant by Terraform state file and importance. Okay. Now we can see 0 completed, 1 to add and 0 to change and 0 to destroy it. Okay, now we have done the, now what we'll do, now we are going to talk about Terraform state file. So let me go ahead and run the Terraform plan now, Terraform apply. So it will going to go ahead and create the other server as well now. Sorry, we already created, right, the other server. Okay, now you can, now if you run the Terraform apply, let's see what is, you can see apply completed and 0 resources, nothing to add. Why? Because we now we have a two services available. How Terraform is going to recognize both services based on the .tf file. So if we have a TF file, but Terraform should, how we going to recognize? So what will happen is Terraform when you run the run, it will going to create locally called state file. So that is what we are going to talk about now, Terraform state file and importance. So what is meant by Terraform state file? How does Terraform knows whether the specific resource has been created or not? Okay, so Terraform stores the state of the infrastructure that is being created from the .tf file. So all the resource information stored in the state file. So all the resources that are in all the infrastructure details is going to keep in the state file. So if you delete the resources, if you create the resources, if you do anything the particular resources, all the resource information is going to keep the state file. If you can see do more tf state, you can see all the things available versioning. And if you go to the provider is AWS which are using the instance, what is the name and the AMI ID. If you look at this is the instance name, resource name, this would be the logical name. If you scroll down, we have one more resource which we created. If you scroll down, this is the one, and EC2 demo which we created. This is the instance, AWS instance. So what are the information when we run the Terraform plan and Terraform init? Everything is going to read from the state file. It's going to keep it. Okay. So without state file, let's say for example, what I'm going to do. So when you run the Terraform state list, I'll show you. If you run the Terraform state list, what will happen is you can see both resource information available. So if I create one more resource, it's going to store the information here. Okay, let's say for example, if I destroy, if I destroy the Terraform demo again now, okay, what is going to happen? Now we have already created the particular this resource. Now I'm going to destroy this one. Let's see, we are going to remove, it's going to take it from the state file. I'll show you now. If I say Terraform destroy, let's see what is going to happen. When I say yes, it's going to 0 to add, 1 to destroy. If you go to the console, you can see it will destroy. It's going to shut it down. It will take it out. Yeah, now we can see destroy is completed and one resource is destroyed. Okay, now if let's see, let Terraform state file is JSON file, we can, it's a readable format. If we run the Terraform TF state now, if you can see, we have one resource type is available, that is called AWS instance. If it is a type, would be difference AWS underscore, let's say if your database, the type would be AWS underscore RDS based on the syntax. The logical name would be anything. So this is a resource which I am using, EC2 demo. If I come down, so let's see, we have only one resource available. Now if I run the Terraform state list, let's see what is going to happen. Now if I run the Terraform state, you can see the state list, we have only one resource information available, that is called EC2 dot. So this is the resource information. Why? Because this resource is, we didn't destroy. This is the only, which resource we destroyed? Yeah, sorry. So this resource we destroyed, this resource we didn't touch that. That's why Terraform is maintaining the state list. So AWS underscore EC instance and EC2 demo is only still available for the state file. Let's say for example, if I let's see what is going, if I remove the state file, let's see what is going to happen. Okay, if I take it out the state file, Terraform, let me keep it as a backup before going to delete. So I'll keep it as a underscore one. Now we don't have any state file available. So Terraform state file always store with the Terraform dot tf state, then only Terraform will recognize. Okay, now this is the backup, leave about this one. This is the backup. Now if I run the Terraform plan, let's see what is going to happen. So Terraform plan, we have already this the state file earlier, it is having the one particular server's information. Now if I run the Terraform plan, let's see what is going to happen. Let's imagine what's going to happen. What is happening? It's going to create the two resources. It's going to create the two resources. What does mean? Okay, even I don't, we have already deleted this server, we don't want, let's check it out this one. This is, this server is already removed, but the earlier state file only having the one resource, that is called this resource information already having the state file. Now if we run the Terraform plan, let's see what is going to happen. So it's going to create again. Why it's going to create again? Okay, why it's going to create again? Why? Because we don't have any state file locally which is available. Okay, why? Because this state file is already having the particular EC2 demo information, but the state file we removed out. Now let me rename the state file again back to old state. If I run the, if you can see again Terraform state, if you can see again Terraform .tf state. If you run the Terraform plan, let's see what is going to happen. If you run the Terraform plan, you can see no changes. Infrastructure is up to date. Why? Because when you run the Terraform plan, so based on the .tf file resource information, it's going to read from the Terraform state file. I- If it is already information available to the particular .tf file resource information already available into the TF state file, Terraform is not going to have. If you don't have information, Terraform is trying to recreate. Now if I rename again, keep it as, now if I run the Terraform plan again it's going to create. Why? Because we don't have any state file. So if I again rename, if I again rename to old state, the Terraform will read the state from state file. If we run the Terraform plan again, it will show the Terraform infrastructure is up to date. When you run the Terraform plan or Terraform destroy, Terraform anything, is always read from the state file. It will get the output. Okay, that is called Terraform state file. So we already covered if you done any manual changes. Let's say for example I want to change something. Let's say for example I want to change something. So in here, so what I'm going to keep it. I'm going to keep it as a, so rather than is to one, I'm going to keep it as a 4. Okay, let me go ahead and run the Terraform. Okay, we already discussed if you change manually what is going to happen. Now I would like to go with locally .tf file. Now I'm going to run the Terraform apply. Let's see what is going to happen. If I run the Terraform apply, so what is going 0 to add, 1 to change, and 0 to destroy. If I go up, what is going to happen? The name is going to change from EC2 1 to EC2 to 4. So that is the way we have to change. If I say yes, so it's going to change the name from here. So if you want to modify any changes here, even you can see EC2-4. If you want to change the instance class or AMI, so we have to update the locally .tf file. So .tf file, then we have to change. So again, I'm saying Terraform file, any file, if you can keep it any file, the always extension would be .tf file. Then only Terraform will recognize. If you come up with a different name, Terraform won't recognize. Let's say I'm going to add one more here. I will show you then. So EC, now EC2 new .tf. If I keep it like this, so what is going to happen? Now let me go ahead and edit something. Now this time I'm going to call it as a demo. Just keep it as a, just keep it as a resource name is EC2. If I run the, now if I run the Terraform plan, let's see what is going to happen. So it's saying AWS already oh sorry, I copied everything seems. So EC2, why? Because we called provide 2 times, it's only 1 time would be fine. So I don't want to keep, Terraform won't require to, not allowing to place 2 times. If we run the Terraform plan, let's see what is going to happen. So you can see 1 to add and 0 to change. Why? Because we are keep it as a one more file .tf. If I rename it to different name called 1, let's say if we run the Terraform plan, let's see what is going to happen. Now we have if you can see, now we don't have any file which is available dot extension. The only file available, if we run the Terraform plan, let's see what is going to happen. You can see nothing is going to happen. Why? Because Terraform will recognize only .tf file extension. If you keep it with the different name, Terraform won't recognize. Okay, so that is how we discussed how we need to stop other things. Okay, let me go ahead and finally, so for this session, how we need to install the Windows. Okay, how we need to, let me go to the older version. Go to the older version. Let's pick up with again .tf file. So if you go to the Windows, I'm using the 64-bit. If I click this .zip file, so it will download locally. It's downloading now. So we have already downloaded successfully. This is the file. If I want to extract Windows zip file, just click on. So we have to extract the .zip file for Windows. Let's say extract all. Extract. Okay, now this is completed, extract complete. Now we have a file called file folder called this one. If I copy this file, so if I copy from here, so I'm going to keep it into the my locally, go to the C drive and go to the binaries. So I'm going to keep it, I'm going to keep it here. I'm going to paste it. Okay, I placed it here. If I where I was placed, I placed into the CD binaries. Let me open the command prompt. So before going to that, okay, I already placed the where I placed binaries. Okay, if I go to, okay, I already placed the binary folder. Now what I will do, now I have a locally code available. Okay, so that is called Windows installation. Just nothing to do. It's not like a yum install something like that. Just need to extract. We keep it the file locally wherever you want. If you set the environment, we can run the command anywhere. Now I would like to. We have already code available my locally. This is I place it in this particular location. So demo inside we have a Terraform demo, cd Terraform demo. So inside there are a few directories. Now if I run the Terraform, Terraform, if I run the Terraform, let's see what is going to happen. When you run the Terraform, you can see all the commands is going to execute. Okay, so we I placed the file Terraform file into the binaries folder. So I already set the environment for the particular binaries. If you want to set the environment, we need to set the environment. Otherwise, what will you have to go to the particular location? Let me show you that one also. If you go back, so binaries, I'm in the binaries folder. You can go to the. There are files. You can see Terraform 12, Terraform. I renamed with a different version. This is the one which I placed. If I run the Terraform, you can see here, but I was executed this one some different folder, so that is called demo. So you can, I already set the environment, that's why it's working from anywhere. If I go to the Terraform demo, so we have a file available that is called .tf inside main.tf. This is the file which is available. So I'm going to keep it to this one. Let me go ahead and run the Terraform plan again. Now what is going to happen if I run the Terraform apply. So first we need to run the Terraform init. Okay, then only Terraform will connect. This is based on the provider. Now when to run the first initialize the Terraform init. If you go back and see specific folder, let's see before you're going to run the Terraform apply. So you can see, go to this one, go to the demo. So go to the Terraform demo. You have, there is no files available here. You can see here. Now if I run the Terraform init, let's see what is going to happen. If you run the Terraform init, it's a downloading the required plugins for the based on the provider. It's going to downloading the plugins for the provider based on the provider, checking for the availability provider plugins. First, we'll check the based on available, what is the availability provider is available .tf file. So we have already placed the AWS. Then it's downloading the required plugins for the AWS provider. There is no difference between the Linux and Windows. Would be the same. Linux we are going to unzip. Here we are going to extract the .zip file. That's the only difference. The both same creating, so Terraform file. So we can successfully Terraform installation happen. If you go back and see the here, we can see one .tf file available. If you go to inside, all the plugins information available. Okay. Now if I go ahead and run the Terraform apply, let's see what is going to happen. When I say hit Terraform apply, if you go back to the console, now we have only one server, two servers up and running. Now we can see here. Now it's saying one plan to add, how we have done the same Linux environment. That would be the similar way. There is no much different. Only platform is the OS platform is the different one. When I say yes, you can see now it's trying to create the EC2 AWS underscore inst EC2 creating. Now if you go on here, you can see here. Now dev hyphen EC2 is creating. Now I was placed for the name dev EC2. That's why it's creating as a dev EC2. Okay. You can see it will take a few minutes. Yeah, now we are successfully created, and even here also we can see state file information, everything. If we run the Terraform state list, we have only one resource available, AWS underscore instance to instance. This is the syntax name, and this is the logical name. Okay, that's all from this session. We'll talk about a little more about the how we need to manage the state file into the central location. If somebody deleted the state file local, let's say people running the 10 locations, if some everybody have own state file, but somebody want to change the resource name or resource type later, that could be really different. That's why we want to run as a state file would be centrally, and how we need to use the with the Terraform Git and S3 bucket. We'll talk about next session and what is mean by variable, what is mean by module. So we'll try to cover other session. I think that's all from my end. Thank you.